Hello my fellow webheads, and welcome to my video. Now today we are going to be talking about Spider-Man 2 and its future releases. I guess this might be somewhat of similar takes from other content creators, but unlike other content creators that have only played about 20 hours and just ditch the game I've played for an extended period of time. And I guess what I'm about to say here might make people oh my god, you're a hater, you're an absolute hater of all of these games. But yet, if I was a hater, why would I pour this amount of time into the game or play any of these? So now that we've established that I am a dedicated person to Insomniac, really enjoyed the first two installments. In Act 3, I'm probably gonna sound like a broken record, I'm gonna have similar points, and if you want to click away, that's fine, you can do so, nobody's holding you hostage here. So, the whole thing with Norman getting mad with Peter and Miles makes absolutely no sense in the third act, because earlier on he asked his very own men,
stop! Non-lethal! Just get it over him!
but then proceeds to get mad at Miles and Peter for doing exactly what he wanted. He's like, I don't get it. Norman's men were, successful at taking off the symbiote. Would he be like, how dare you take it off? I'm in the game of my life, what do you need? Brother, he would have been dead if it was just your own men. If they could have taken it off, he would have been dead. But then, thanks to Miles, he was saved. But it's just they really done Norman so bloody dirty. And not to mention, the whole thing with the evolved suits. You can't even call it that. So atrociously bad. Not only because it goes against, everything that Miles was saying on the Mysterio missions where Spideys don't do endorsements, they don't do sponsors and all that, and yet he goes and wears that suit, and to top it all off, there is no build up. There's no build up compared to the first game. When Miles puts on his classic suit, he has his whole character arc where he's thinking, he's got to be like Peter. He's got to be like Peter, because if he's not like Peter, then, he's just he's just not as great. And then, Genki managed to show him that it's not about being like him. You got to be like yourself. Which is the whole point and the message of that entire game, is to be yourself. So it fits a very, very thematically, right? And yet they throw it away in this game and just go oh, he's wearing this suit now, that looks really bad. Mainly due to its hair and shoes are just, I don't know why they even bothered making this in the first place. If this was the overall outcome, I wouldn't want to see another game, to be honest. If this is how they're gonna handle Miles or anyone in the future, where they just give them such a bad reputation by doing exactly what they're not supposed to do, it's just terrible. It's just terrible writing. I just really hate it. And that's the takes with the whole Act 3 part. And now there comes my second segment where I talk about bugs. Apparently, Insomniac did a recent patchwork, and it looked like, oh my god, they're listening. They've managed to fix some bugs. What were they? It was the Tobey Maguire suit logo glitching out on the back, big W. And then there's the foot pads on the Amazing Spider-Man 2 suit. Great. What else? Oh, stability fixes. Cool, that's cool. Prevent crashes. Gotcha. Anything else? No? Okay, what? It is rumored to be another state of play. And Insomniac has been very quiet this year on like DLC content. And this is apparently the last one that they're gonna be having this year. So Insomniac is gonna have to come out with something. And there was potential leaks in like the roadmap that there was going to be potentially an online implementations. We don't know if it was the canceled like the Great Web DLC or if that was just an extra game entirely on its own. We don't know for certain on that because they canceled it and we don't know the full details about it. There's the bugs, right? Now plagued this game. On launch day, it was pretty bad. The bugs were severely worse. I mean, yes, it is great that they fixed the amount of bugs that they have. However, there are still very apparent bugs, and if Insomniac ever wants to like push this to be an online sort of thing where they want people to keep on coming back and just keep on being invested for the longevity of the game, well, in my opinion, they should fix more bugs. Because I keep finding bugs and post them up on Reddit to report them. Like, here's another one that we missed, boys. There's another one. And people are just saying, oh, this is just a minor bug. Yet the bugs on the suits were minor and they got fixed. And other minor things in other people's lives, such as like the parrying system and the traversal was minor, but yet it got fixed. So I don't want to be Debbie Downer and say that Insomniac should stop developing games. And here's the thing, I'm not really allowed to show the footage here because I don't know if it's suitable for YouTube, but the game that I would like to talk about is Outlast Trials. If you haven't heard of it, it is a horror-esque type of game that is like a 4-man player survival where you go into these trials and you try and survive. But here's the thing, I've been playing it maybe not as long as some other people. I've only spent like in around 30 to 40 hours. I know, sue me, because probably if I dedicated as much time as I have into Marvel Spider-Man 2, Miles Morales, or the first game, I would probably start to see bugs. The overall thing in the game is that the only thing that I've ever experienced is like latency issues and like little bit of lag here and there in the lobby. So it wasn't really anything that bad. It was actually pretty good for like a game that is set on a multiplayer aspect, and it's made by Red Barrel Studios, and they're just raising the bar for like how games could be developed. And there are other games such as Lethal Company, that is a very well-known game around now. Unfortunately, I cannot play it, but I would love to. I love how it is playing out, and I would love to be there playing alongside and making content on that, but unfortunately I cannot. Because Zeekers is still trying to develop it, and hopefully for the consoles, which fingers crossed that it will come eventually. Now, although that game isn't exactly perfect, it has its flaws and like bug-wise, like it's in some aspects it's buggy, a lot more buggy. But the thing is that it's a lower quality game, and yet it is doing better than Call of Duty. It's outselling Call of Duty, and we used to love Call of Duty back in the day. Like back in my day. I used to, like play Call of Duty with the boys, when I had friends, and now I don't. I don't have any friends anymore. Oh my god, what am I doing with my life? But, yeah. It is just like those games have fallen from grace, and yet the thing is that Lethal Company is just showing that it isn't always about quality of graphics that makes the game good, which some people in when they were criticizing Spider-Man 2 is that, oh my god, I found a soda can and the polygons on this soda can is not realistic enough. I am triggered. Like, bro, I just can't. That is just like, brother, you're so fucking cringe. I'm sorry. Excuse my French, but seriously. It's so ridiculous. Because, these people will go on to defend games such as Web of Shadows, Spider-Man 2, Spider-Man 3, games. No, Spider-Man 3 back in the day was poorly received, but still. Granted, those games might have had some things that might have been innovative, like environmental takedowns in like the Amazing Spider-Man games. There were like a little bit more innovative car chases that didn't involve just quick time events, where there were like certain events that like keep you a little bit more engaged, would make you feel like, oh, you're more like Spider-Man. In this game, it's just one click of a button and that's it. It's really a lackluster car chase, and it's not that great. It doesn't really make you feel that great about it. There is the whole thing where people will get upset over the graphics, and yet they'll defend games of the past where they have lower graphics. So it's kind of contradictory that they do this and get mad with Insomniac. So I can't really take them seriously when they start spewing on Insomniac's game being bad when they are defending games past that are in lower quality than Insomniac's. But anyways, my point being is that if they ever plan on doing online stuff, if they ever try to do something online-esque in the third game or possibly afterwards, which I'm not sure if they ever will, I do hope that they are able to have a more well-received game than they did here, because it wasn't that well received in some aspects for its bugs, which was a huge problem on like launch day. So that's all that I'm trying to say, is that please, Insomniac, try a little bit harder with bug fixing. Don't be so focused on graphics, as it's proven time and time again not to be the thing that players really care about. The things that people really care about is the quality of the game that you deliver. But anyways, that'll be it for me. I hope you have yourselves a wonderful day or wonderful nights. That'll be all for me. Take care.